We're almost there. Sisters and brothers, take your seats, please. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let's have a great afternoon to finish this thing off. Thank you, Ulico, for sponsoring the meter board. Thank you, Ulico. Thank you, Motley Rice, for sponsoring this morning's coffee break and this afternoon's coffee break, sponsored by Union Power. Thank you, both of them. Just a reminder, our parliamentary reception takes place at Sir John A. Macdonald Building from 5:30 to 8 o'clock tonight. Buses will begin running at 4:45 p.m. from the front of the hotel. And we do have about 500 people to transport, so please be patient. Also, to the parliamentary reception, you got to bring your ID. There'll be a checkpoint as you go into the building, and bring your badge to identify who you are as well. Please refrain from bringing large bags, as they'll be inspected and maybe not even allowed in. We usually get a great turnout for the parliamentary reception, so we expect you to be there on time, please. The reception is generously sponsored by the iron workers. Thank you, gentlemen. Now I ask Brother Strickland to introduce the next speaker.
Thank you, Brother Kucherin, and good afternoon. It's a real pleasure for me to introduce our next speaker, Vicky Waldron, Executive Director of the Construction Industry Rehabilitation Plan. A passionate advocate for mental health and substance use, Vicky serves as the Executive Director of the CIRP, dedicated to providing essential services for the organized construction industry in British Columbia. With over 2 decades of experience in program delivery, analysis, and strategy, Vicky brings expertise honed through international leadership roles in mental health and substance use services. Please join me in providing a warm welcome to Vicky Waldron.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Sean, for inviting me to speak today on a topic that is so incredibly important. It's really an honour to be here today. Thank you. I'd like to start by providing an overview of our organisation and its mission. Construction Industry Rehab Plan provides substance use and mental health related services to the unionised construction sector. We're a joint employer and union programme funded by the BC Building Trades and Construction Labour Relations Association. We have our roots tracing right back to the 1980s. We initially started as a referral service for workers grappling with substance use issues. However, as time progressed and as we learned deeper insights into substance use and the specific needs of our industry, our programme evolved significantly. Today, we are a best practices clinical model offering 3 pillars of care: prevention and promotion, treatment, and building resiliency. Going beyond primary care treatment, the 3 pillars addresses a range of issues, including prevention, treatment, and resilience building. These pillars are the bedrock of our work. The change in approach was driven by a simple yet powerful realisation that to effectively combat substance use within our industry, we need to offer services that go beyond primary care. Notably, the prevention and promotion and building resiliency pillars generate the most significant return on investment for when we work with our clients. The pillars are the bedrock of our work. The 3-pillar approach is driven by a simple yet powerful rationale. To effectively combat substance use within our industry, we need to offer services that both prevent mental health issues in our workers and then keep workers healthy if they have had these issues. We moved to this 3-pillar model of care in 2016, and it came at a critical time. In 2016, it was a year that Canadians saw a sharp increase in the number of overdose deaths that were occurring due to opioids. As we started to delve into the data, we uncovered alarming trends in the wake of the numerous public health emergencies that have been declared since 2016. This period provided us with important insights into the demographics, locations, and causes of overdose-related deaths. Since 2016, there has been a staggering 45,500 Canadians that have died. And 88% of all these deaths have occurred in 3 provinces, in British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. They've been hit worse by the crisis. The overdose demographics paint a striking picture, with data consistently showing that it is an epidemic that is predominantly affecting men. Over 90% of our industry is made up of men. It predominantly affects men aged between 20 and 59, and it is this age group that constitutes a substantial portion of the construction industry. A pivotal BC coroner's report in 2018 highlighted that half of those who died while they were employed were in the construction and transport sector. But this group only constitutes 15% of BC's workforce, so clearly disproportionate. What further compounds this issue is the fact that many of those who died had sought help for pain-related issues. Our industry is characterised by physical demands faced by a significantly higher injury rate, with some studies suggesting up to 77% more higher than other sectors. In Ontario, the health data shows that there is also a disproportionate impact amongst construction workers. Nearly 1 in 13 opioid-related deaths in Ontario between 2018 and 2020 occurred amongst construction workers, and that deaths among construction workers are primarily driven by the unregulated drug supply, not by pharmaceutical opioids prescribed for pain. They also found that cocaine and alcohol are more commonly involved in opioid toxicity deaths, and that construction workers, compared to those not working in the construction industry, were more likely to be involved. In Ontario, 98% of construction workers who died of an opioid toxicity were male. In the midst of these challenges, multiple studies have specifically looked at the construction sector since the public health emergencies were declared, with some studies finding that construction workers face 6 to 7 times higher odds of dying from an overdose compared to workers in other industries. Other studies have highlighted significant aspects related to the crisis. One found that around 60 to 80% of worker compensation claims involved opioid prescriptions, and that approximately 20% of extended health benefit claims pertain to opioids. That's twice the rate found in other industries. And yet, even with all this data, the underlying why had remained elusive to us. While research has provided substantial insights, it was evident to us at CERP that certain critical information could only come from the industry itself. So, in 2019, we collaborated with WorkSafe BC to delve deeper into the attitudes of construction industry towards substance use and mental health. And this involved interviewing construction workers across British Columbia, both unionised and non-unionised, to comprehensively understand the barriers that they faced. And in doing that research, 4 key themes emerged. 1, that workers found it challenging to figure out whether their substance use was problematic, and this was because it was so pervasive within the industry. The normalisation of alcohol and recreational drugs complicated their ability to identify whether this was a problem. 2, many workers feared the consequences if they were found to have issues. 3, stigma, known to discourage people from seeking help, extended to viewing workers with substance use or mental health issues as unfit for the job or lazy. This misperception undermined the complexity of substance use challenges. And 4, unsurprisingly, substance use is more stigmatised than mental health concerns. Central to our findings in this research were some other key insights. Over half of the survey respondents, ranging from workers to employers, expressed concerns about mental health. So it's a concern within the industry itself, not just people using substances. This spanned all levels of the industry. And around 1 in 3 respondents self-reported substance use issues. 1 in 3. Underscoring the gravity of the issue. Although the effects of stigma were significant, there was actually something positive that came out of the study. While construction workers perceive both substance use and mental health issues as stigmatized, it was surprising for us to hear that there was actually a high level of support towards workers who were struggling with these issues. There was no real difference between people that were supportive towards someone who had a mental health issue or someone that was struggling with substance use issues. However, the issue where stigma was allowed to grow and where stigma was becoming pervasive is because the space where people were talking about this support was left empty. Nobody was actually coming forward to say that they were supportive, and so those who were stigmatizing had the loudest voice in the room. As one person said, "I'm worried about making things worse. What if they end up taking their life or something?" So people are afraid to come forward and actually voice their support for people struggling with mental health issues. So data is critical to our understanding of the extent of the problem in construction and the work that we are facing. As such, we've definitely been committed to collecting our own data and providing aggregated data to the industry about mental health and substance use. And from this, we've learnt that about 80% of our clients score moderate to severe for mental health issues. About 70% screen positive for PTSD. 90% score positive for significant early childhood trauma. Of that 90%, almost half are 1,200% more likely to commit suicide, 460% more likely to experience toxic stress, and 500% more likely to miss work. Since the public health emergencies have been declared in 2016, we've continued to see annual growth at our programme in the numbers of people wanting help. The past year alone, we saw a 43% increase in the number of workers that we saw. We served 507 construction workers struggling with substance use and related mental health issues, and nearly half of them were new clients. We administered around 5,000 counselling sessions, about 4,000 one-on-one counselling sessions, and about 1,100 case management sessions. And what we can see through this data is probably what many of you in this room already know and have already experienced. And that is that the scale of the impact of this is unprecedented, and it calls for immediate action. But let's pause for a minute. Even with all of this, quite frankly, stark, heartbreaking data, there still was a piece of the puzzle that was missing, a question that remained outstanding. What is the cost of this to the construction industry? In late 2022, I joined forces with UBC professors to deliver a survey to understand the economic impact of substance use on the industry in BC. The survey's results indicated a staggering annual cost to the industry of $847 million. And we are anticipating that it will be $847 million the following year and every year after if we don't intervene. The impact isn't confined to the industry alone. And recognising the important role our industry plays in the Canadian economy, we went a step further and we calculated the economic loss to the BC government as well. And we found that it was costing the BC government $318 million in lost taxation every year. And so these findings underscore a dual imperative. Not only are there strong humanitarian reasons to address this issue head-on, there's also a compelling business case to do so. The economic costs are just too significant to ignore. And it leads me to wonder what the cost of this might be in Ontario, where the construction industry is much larger and much more robust. So with this comprehensive understanding in mind, a little over a year ago, we held 2 industry-wide forums. And these forums, we presented our previous research and new survey results. And we sought feedback from the industry on their perspectives on how to tackle the issue. We then consolidated all of these into a white paper titled Industry-Led Solutions for Tackling the Overdose Crisis. And this document serves as a roadmap for addressing the challenge effectively. The white paper outlines 16 core recommendations spanning 3 strategic principles and 3 overarching principles of care. Building resiliency. This pillar represents the bedrock for addressing substance use crisis within our industry. And while I'll refer you to the white paper itself for a full description, I'd like to go over some of those recommendations with you today. So the cornerstone of effectively combating this issue in our industry lies within 3 pivotal overarching principles. We have to recognise that the industry has unique pressures. Any solutions that we have to recognise that. The treatments have to be tailored to the industry itself to meet the distinctive needs. We have a diversity in our work environments. We have to embrace the complexity of construction sites from remote to urban settings, understanding that each comes with its own sets of challenges impacting worker health. This type of nuanced approach is vital if we're going to address the full spectrum of these issues. And we have to forge partnerships between unions and employers and ensuring that strategies are deeply aligned with the expectations and realities of all that are involved. Unity is really the key to crafting a supportive and effective framework for the industry. By firmly grounding our strategies in these recommendations, we can deliver interventions that are not only effective but also deeply respectful of the industry's unique dynamics. And a commitment to these principles will result in the well-being and prosperity of our construction workers. In addition to the 3 overarching principles we've talked about, there's the principle of prevention and promotion. We have to start by raising awareness and educating the industry about substance use and mental health issues affecting us. It's crucial to address varying levels of understanding about these issues. Ensuring overdose prevention training, which can seamlessly integrate into existing organisational frameworks. Establishing peer support networks and providing education at work sites to foster community and reduce the stigma associated with substance use. We have to ensure timely support for workers. It's crucial. Early identification and referrals can prevent problems from worsening and can lead to better outcomes. Knowing the signs and the appropriate steps empowers stakeholders to proactively help workers. This knowledge is key if we are to effectively address this issue in our industry. We have to be familiar with treatment options and services and support systems, and they can reduce barriers to treatment and improve worker engagement. And we have to build resiliency, offer pain management options and services to equip the workforce with tools to manage pain without resorting to opioids. Supporting the development of a structured return to work programme. This includes clear policies, formal agreements and qualified return to work coordinators. And such programmes promote a transparent protocol for managing substance use related return to work transitions. I think I'm a slide behind. In addition to the white paper, our industry forums and research has led to other key solutions to this issue. Solutions like the opioid-free pain clinic that uses a technique called myofascial activation. This is an innovative approach that offers an alternative to opioids. The clinic offers non-drug-based solutions for pain management. We had 5 goals when we started this initiative. 1, accelerate a return to work time for members on disability, medical leave due to chronic pain, physical dysfunction, mental health or substance use. 2, to mitigate physical injury risk, reducing time off work. 3, to alleviate suffering and aid recovery from substance use and other mental health conditions. To minimise reliance on medication. And finally, to facilitate appropriate pain care when not related to myofascial injury. There was significant client impact. We had over 300 construction appointments that were delivered, and approximately 60 workers have benefited from the clinic over 9 months. We saw a significant reduction in pain, and over 70% of the workers reported statistically significant reductions and an improvement in their quality of life. The opioid-free pain clinic provides a time-efficient solution. Recognising time constraints in construction, the clinic aimed for quicker recovery. Most workers only needed 4 sessions before they were able to get back to work. Those who were working at the time, many did not even have to take further time off. Our priority was getting people back on the job while effectively managing their pain. And in some cases, no doubt, diverted individuals from further opioid use. The clinic directly tackles opioid-related issues in the workplace, making a positive impact. No opioids, and effective treatment, and faster return to work. Benefits for both workers and the industry. Another solution is the Build Strong app. The app provides on-demand access to mental health and substance use support for construction workers. It empowers them to prioritise their well-being and take control of their own mental health. It's designed to be accessible to all construction workers regardless of their location or their financial situation. It has comprehensive resources that include stress and anxiety management. The app offers tools and techniques for managing stress and anxiety through guided videos, worksheets, self-help plans, and other resources. It has strategies for overcoming substance use challenges, works on a tailored self-directed treatment plan to help reduce substance use. It also includes support services information, details about support services that are local to wherever you may be accessing the app from. It also includes self-screening. This is important because our research showed that most construction workers did not know whether their level of stress, their level of mental health issues, or their level of substance use was problematic or not. And so we included self-screening into the app. If workers have concerns about their own health, they can screen for issues such as depression, anxiety, PTSD. They can also screen to see if there's substance use, the amount of substances they are using, whether this is problematic or not, and it provides guidance. The app also contains toolbox talks. Toolbox talks, there's a year's worth of toolbox talks that are going to be pushed out a month at a time. And these are designed for site supervisors, whoever may be delivering the toolbox talks, to be able to read verbatim off of the app and deliver some mental health services to their workers directly. Oh, I should say, the QR code there that's on the screen takes you to a link of a demo of the app. The final solution I'd like to share with you is the Mental Health Stewards Programme. This training was developed with a clear purpose: to equip site supervisors, superintendents with the practical skills to address mental health challenges on construction sites. The programme focuses on site supervisors and superintendents because they play a pivotal role in managing the workforce. We wanted to empower those leaders by providing them with tangible skills to recognise, to respond to, and support workers who are experiencing mental health issues. There was 3 key objectives: to help them to learn to recognise the signs of a mental health crisis or a mental health emergency, to be able to tell the difference between a mental health crisis and a mental health emergency. Early identification allows for a timely intervention, to give site leaders the tools to manage crises effectively. ensuring safety and minimising harm, and to teach leaders how to appropriately refer workers to professional help without delay. Importantly, the training is designed to take a non-professional approach. It doesn't require you to be a mental health professional. Instead, we've taken all of those skills out of the clinical room that we could. I sat down with my team and we quite literally wrote out a list of everything that we could give to you as non-mental health professionals to use. And we teach those to you. This approach ensures that anyone on the construction site can provide mental health support to workers in crisis. In my mind, it's actually breaking taboos. Historically, we've shied away from discussing emotions and mental health. And by fostering these open conversations and providing tools, we can collectively break down these taboos and create a supportive environment. To sum up, the impact of the toxic drug supply in this overdose epidemic has hit the construction sector harder than any other. Our industry is comprised predominantly of males aged between 30 and 59 and bears a disproportionate burden. The connection between the crisis and our industry is undeniable. The data paints a clear picture of increasing need for assistance. This is evident not only from our own SERP data, but also from reports from various health agencies across the provinces and a growing number of studies on this topic. The sobering reality is that lives are being lost. And as we found out in BC, the crisis is hitting us with a staggering annual lost revenue. Yet there's room for hope. We've taken a significant step forward in identifying 16 crucial recommendations in the white paper. These recommendations offer a path to address these issues head-on, and they've led to 3 key solutions that are easily replicatable and can easily be adopted by everyone in this room. We want to share with you what we've learnt, and are hopeful that this will lead to widespread, industry-wide initiatives tailored to each of your regions. Finally, I'm really heartened by Sean's leadership and thank him for bringing together speakers on this really important topic. It's a testament to our collective commitment to make a change. And as I end, I'll leave you with this call to action. Thank you.